there's no children involved.
Well, then at that point, there's no reason to get married. Like, if you're gonna get married and not have children.
Wait, did he just say don't get married? Oh no, you shouldn't get married unless you have children. Is this mother? Oh, what? Okay, Hunter, attack.
And you've kind of.
I want to take a little bit of time out to say thank you for my wonderful patrons, which you see right here on the screen. If you go to Crimson60620 at patreon.com, you can actually help support the show and get your name shown up on the screen. Thank you.
All right, so my channel loves talking about and taking down red pill motherfuckers. I just admit it. Like, I'm not gonna lie about it. I do just, it's one of those things where it's just like, it stirred me enough seeing this bullshit that I fucking wanted to change my channel from just pure gaming to this shit where like we actually look at some of these motherfuckers and it's just like, you motherfuckers need help. So, I've had several people that I've like did videos on. One of them, which is BassFZz, and you know, I guess to his credit, he came in my comment section talking about how you know, he tried to push back on me. However, I offered for him to come on my channel to talk. And no. Now I get it. You know, you have some, you know, small channel, 645 subscribers. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe. Come at you and make points. But if they're not salient points, then you shouldn't respond. But if they're salient points and they hit you right here in the fields and you respond and somebody says, okay, challenge me, come on my channel, come at me, bro, and then you go radio silence, I seem to take that as you're afraid of what I may say to you. And yeah, I don't know, like, how am I supposed to take it? It just seems as if you if somebody actually had a different point of view from me and they offer me to come and have that conversation, I just would. But, you know, cowards are going to coward, right? Right? Anyway, let's go to this recent video, or I say recent, where Bass was talking with, if anything, one of all people, Hunter Avallone. So let's go through this video. I've watched a little bit of it. It's a little bit of a preamble, but let's go.
A little bit of a chat with Hunter Avallone during his live stream. It wasn't really the discussion or conversation I would have liked to have, not only because time was limited, but also because we got sidetracked. But I did want to still kind of talk about it and go over it. You know, it's not even my best performance. Again, it's not as impactful as I would have loved for it.
Oh, so he just admits that it's not as good as he thought it would be. Hold on, let me turn him up just a little bit because I can barely hear him. Dude, enunciate your words. Speak clearly and fluidly. Well, let's go.
For it to be, but I still like the topic and I still want to chat about it. So unfortunately, I don't think Hunter leaves his live streams up, so I can't like show you the preamble and show you everything else. But his stream was, at least at the point I arrived on, was talking about purity culture and its relation to rape culture. Now, we didn't actually get the deep dive or the association or connection between the two that I would have liked, which...
Well, yeah, because purity culture leads to, one, this whole thing that women are fucking trophies or goals to obtain, and it sets a toxic mindset for men and for women where it shames women into having sex, And if they have sex, if it's non-consensual sex, then they're ashamed to be quiet. And also they make it seem where, you know, if you do have sex, either willingly or unwillingly, and you're just used, and like you can just like hear in some of the stuff. What is that, Elizabeth Smart, how she felt that she was just, because she was abused, that it was like her fault, and yeah, no, purity culture is bullshit, because it hurts not just women, but it also hurts men too. But okay, that's neither here nor there. Oh, let's go.
Saddens me greatly anyhow, and even when I was able to get on his live stream and start talking to him again, we didn't really even scratch the surface of that type of discussion. So I kind of want to scratch the surface now and also show you guys the conversation.
This is kind of weird, because you have grown men having their children promise them their purity. That's kind of weird. Why the fuck would you, as a grown man in this modern age, expect your daughter to promise you their purity? My daughter is almost 15 years old, and I had to talk with her like, yo, play safe, but don't have any shame when it comes to that, because it's human nature. But okay, let's go.
Hunter, because it does kind of split right at the middle, where we start talking about the purpose of marriage and whatnot, and I'll go over that as well in a little bit too. So this is going to be a little bit of a long video, I assume, as I'm recording this, so we'll see when everything's said and done. So unfortunately, most of Hunter's stream was a little bit of what I like to call quote-unquote cringe content, and I don't know.
Like, why are you poisoning the well, dog? Just show the stream. Why do you have to, build up your case to make your audience believe that, well, what Hunter is saying wrong? Like, if it's cringe content, it would come out in the video. But okay, let's go. Somebody who does preambles for videos, but let's go.
I don't know if anyone else has a drama name, but I'm sure we've all seen it before. Is where basically someone takes a video that they vehemently disagree with, and then they spend most of the time cringing about it and saying that whatever is going on is weird or odd or strange, without actually unpacking it and explaining it and talking about it. So what Hunter did was he took...
Wait, that's what video responses are. Why do these right-wing motherfuckers think that if you're doing a video response, you should just shut up and just watch it? It's the mark of somebody who has a shit argument that needs to take the full time of the video to prove that they're right. Even though Bass does response videos themselves, where he interrupts the person saying it. It's just fuck one rule for me, but not for thee type shit. But let's go.
2 videos where they were talking about purity culture. There's a little bit of like a little news segment or a little bit of a mini documentary on these things called purity balls. So if you're not familiar with the concept is basically where a young lady pledges to her father that she will remain a virgin until she gets married to her husband. It seems to be a pretty southern and niche thing as well. It doesn't really seem to be something I would even dare say widespread, or even something that existed in antiquity. It seems like a modern, to me, upon watching the videos and watching Hunter cringe about it, it seems like it's a rather recent phenomena and a response mostly to over-sexualization rather than it's its own naturally occurring or forming thought process. Especially with the way that the girls will dress up in, I guess, mock wedding gowns and then go to this dance with their father, and then they make this large pledge. It's really weird. It's a really weird or strange thing, but it's not simply enough that it's weird and strange.
It's fucking controlling. It's really fucking controlling. And it's kind of culty. It's kind of culty. It's not just weird. It's culty as shit. But let's go.
That, like, it's, again, from what I can tell, I don't think anyone who is, I'm going to say normal, relatively speaking. And by normal, I mean, you went to public school, you had friends, you talked to people, you went to the amusement park once or twice with your family. Just an individual baked into our natural, normal culture. You see mainstream media, you watch Cartoon Network. I don't think anyone who just went to a regular public school even heard the topic of a purity ball or seeing young ladies be like this. I know, certainly in my experience, me being the virgin was the odd proclivity, especially with me proclaiming it, when I said I'm a virgin, it was more bizarre confusion, most, especially as a male, it's a pejorative, it's an insult, especially as a young man, but, we were.
No, being a virgin is not an insult, it's not a pejorative, but when you claim it outright as some badge of honor, people look at you weirdly. Like, it's nothing wrong with not having sex. It's not. If you don't want to. But when you proclaim it as this big moral high ground, that's a problem, because you think that it makes you better than other people. It doesn't. It just shows that you need some sort of moral superiority. But let's go.
Or at least we were supposed to, me and Hunter, mostly focus on females and the way they feel. But again, even then, my experience in high school was not one of girls waiting until marriage. In fact, I was the one who was supposed to be waiting until marriage. Of course, that's not, unfortunately, I'm not a virgin anymore, but, I'll talk about that some time. Point being, I was the one who was quote unquote virtuous in that regard, or at least that.
Is he gonna get to the video? Like, for real? He is, oh my God, it takes him 10 minutes to get to the video of him speaking with Hunter. Okay, shit.
Fast, most ladies at some point they got the cheeks clapped. I probably shouldn't put it in that way, but I don't want to be too gratuitous. The point being is that young ladies in normal modern culture may have a fear of being called sluts, or may have a fear of being promiscuous, quote unquote, I say, mostly because now if you look at the up and coming generation, there's lots of training for them to be, I'm going to be honest, prostitutes. But Hunter's point, and
how is there training for young ladies to be prostitutes? Please explain. Citation needed. Like, being open about sexuality, is that a prostitute? Wait, what? This is definitely some incelebrant type shit. But let's go.
The purity culture is that in religious circles, there's a heavy focus and burden placed on women to remain pure, and that their only value is their virginity or their sexual abstination. And while I do think that there is a hyper-focus here, I don't think that that simply exists in Christianity, which is one thing I wanted to bring up. The hyper-focus...
Well, it's any other major religions, especially Abrahamic religions, where they focus on purity as some sort of fucking test to make sure that the kids that a woman has is his kids. No, this is literally in the Abrahamic religions that's been pushed. A lot of other religions, they don't put the fucking weight on virginity like religions that's based off of, I don't know, making sure the kid is yours, so when you pass down a farm to them that you're passing down the correct farm. It's almost as if monogamy was started by, I don't know, the need to own shit and reinforced by capitalism and motherfucking religion. I don't know. Okay, let's go.
On female sexuality as being the only thing that gives them worth and value is permeated throughout all of society. And this can be clearly seen on apps like TikTok, on Instagram, heck, even on YouTube, when we see that the women that are oftentimes elevated are the ones that are really pretty and the ones that are at least feign sexual availability. It's not lost on me, or at least it shouldn't be lost on anyone, that young ladies most definitely feel a huge pressure to try at least to be incredibly sexual, or at least try to pretend to be open and feign that in order to garner attention and some degree of self-worth. It's kind of everywhere, and it seems more like the pendulum has swapped over to the hyper-focus on abstaining from sex, whereas for other girls or other women who is in the normal culture, the hypersexuality is to at least pretend that you're open and available and ready for it, despite the fact that you actually probably don't want any of the sexual attention you get from most of your followers or fan base.
Wait, okay, that doesn't... Wait, and you're right, Thunder. Maybe he's talking about OnlyFans or some shit like that. But, like, just because you don't want to fuck your whole fan base doesn't mean that, you don't like fucking. Like, okay. Like, maybe it's just me. I am looking for a female partner. What's up, cigarette? I'm looking for somebody who I can spend time with, get to know, and all this other good shit. But if they're a prude, if they're not sexual, even if we're not being intimate, if they're not sexual or sexually expressive, we're not going to fucking match, because I'm a sexual motherfucking person. You guys see my art. I have multiple pictures of a woman with her titties out, like not nipples mostly, but just like a presentation of breast and femininity and powerful woman and shit like that. But like, it's, not everybody is sex averse. That's the thing. But I just think that he thinks that women, sex? What? They don't want sex. They just do it to make sure that they have baby. Like, no, that's not how this shit works. But let's get back to this shit. Oh God, this is gonna give me a headache.
Now, what I really wanted to focus on in our conversation was mostly talking about how I don't think that purity culture can relate to quote-unquote rape culture. As I was recording the audio for this video, I recognized that there is a lot to be said, and there are some threads I can understand that I'll have to discuss in another video, kind of directly focusing on that topic. But and today I wanted to mostly get a good preamble or get a good intro into what Hunter was saying, and then let you guys watch what was said, and then give a couple of like closing thoughts and sharpening some other points I was making.
So yeah, you didn't make your points inside of the video, and so you basically probably look, and I haven't gotten to this part, but he probably looks like a fucking fool in this discussion, and so now he has to come out and kind of soften the blow because, yeah, sure, let's go.
One thing I would have really liked to address is one of the biggest issues I feel with serial dating or with promiscuity. I wanted to talk about the different amount of trauma a lot of individuals gain from having lots of different relationships, particularly.
Wait, what trauma do you... Wait. What trauma do you have from having a lot of relationships? Please tell me more, because that sounds like bullshit. That sounds like bullshit. It sounds like some either religious or some pseudoscience fucking way of justifying that breakups are hard. Yeah, breakups are hard, and nobody likes to have a breakup. But let's go.
Particularly young women. This does seem to particularly affect young women a lot more because young women are able to get into sexual relationships a lot easier than young men. Well, a lot of young men, one of their biggest issues is more a lack of knowledge and experience. With women, their biggest issue seems to be a lot of trauma from that or previous relationships that they're carrying over into the next relationship that they have. You know
what trauma? Wait, what trauma? And wait, men don't have trauma? Wait. Oh God. Yeah. It's another woman bad video especially from this fucker. This ashy motherfucker who, like, if he would just have some moisturizer and just treat himself better, he probably... Okay, let's go.
And I feel like a lot of this trauma and a lot of the issue with promiscuity definitely has an effect on these women in their marriages and the way they treat and have relationships with men. I think one very important thing that always needs to be discussed but never is that promiscuity is never something that stems from something positive. Most people that become promiscuous never do so for the sake of other people. They never...
What? Wait, what? This is really about women don't like having sex, they just do it for me. What? Oh wow. Fuck, oh wow. This juvenile understanding of fucking sex. Now, granted, he stated in his video that he's had the intercourse, but I don't think he's had sex. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's lying about not being a virgin. No, I'm saying something differently. I am saying that he's probably had the intercourse, but when it comes to sex, I doubt this man has had sex. Oh God, yes. I think he's had, sex. And he sounds so sex averse. Like, come on now. Like, okay, like if you a sapiosexual, I'm there with you. I definitely want to see the woman who fucked the base of. Oh, you bad. That's fucking bad. But all right, let's go.
Never do so out of any altruistic need or desire to have other people feel sexual pleasure. They're always doing it for themselves. They're always doing it selfishly. And that alone in and of itself means that you're always, just from the very nature of your action, is always going to be using or dehumanizing another person. Whether it's using the woman as a fleshlight
Wait. Let's play that shit back again.
Selfishly. And that promiscuous never have relationships with men. I think one very important thing that always needs to be discussed but never is that promiscuity is never something that stems from something positive. Most people that become promiscuous never do so for the sake of other people. They never do so out of any altruistic need or desire to have other people feel sexual pleasure.
Oh my God, did he just say people who are promiscuous never do it out of the need to have other people pleased sexually? I know that's not a perfect paraphrase, but that's not a perfect quotation, but that's a paraphrase. How? Wait, what? By that take, prostitutes aren't doing it to please their people. They're doing it just for the money. Why? Even though it's part of their job to, help a man orgasm. Okay, let's go.
They're always doing it for themselves. They're always doing it selfishly. And that alone in and of itself means that you're always, just from the very nature of your action, is always going to be using or dehumanizing another person. Whether it's using the woman as a fleshlight, or using the man as a dildo, or using the man as a wallet, you've turned yourself into basically a prostitute where you're exchanging free food for sex. The point is, that type of relationship with sex is always going to hurt the individual because they're not actually looking at the person they're with as a human that needs to be treated well, but as a person or thing that needs to be used. And I feel like that psychological deep dive isn't done with I don't think any little person, now that I think about it, now as I say it out loud, and it's that.
Oh, so he has no citations. He just thinks because reasons. All right. When does he start talking to Hunter? All right, let's go.
Definitely something I wanted to discuss, but didn't really get there. The conversation was cut short, and unfortunately the conversation also was skewed over to me explaining the principal purpose or idea of being married. So with all that being said, I'm going to let this play out, and then I'm going to come back and, sharpen some of the points I was trying to make.
What's up?
Hey, yo, my man.
How's it going, man?
For a couple of years, actually. I remember you from way back when you were conservative.
Dang.
No. So.
Oh, look at Hunter.
So I'm a little curious.
Wait, look at Hunter. He's like, fuck it. I'm about to talk to some crazy motherfucker. I'm gonna need a hit. Like, the fuck? Like, if I, like, man, one of these days I'm gonna come on the stream with a bottle of something and just have fun, just drunk and stream. And oh God, can't wait to see the shit that comes out of my mouth then. Oh shit, okay, let's go.
Yeah, there we go. I had your stream on in the background. I was closing it out. So
wait, hold on. Someone really quick before I talk to you. Crimson Melody, thank you for the $10. Hey Hunter, I got a super wacky reply to the comment I left on your last video. Can I send it to you in the Discord or something? You might get a kick out of it. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and send it. That sounds funny. Thank you for the donation, by the way. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard. I guess there's not really much of like a formal debate, so it's kind
it's kind of hard. Okay, I'm 14. I admit, and I'm still juvenile. All right, let's go.
kind of hard to really like put up a thesis. But I guess I think the first thing we could do to get some focus is kind of talk about the purity culture thing, because while you're talking, I was thinking that this seems to be a pretty relative phenomena where like they'll have they'll have the balls and the dads will come with the girls and do all this stuff. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like the previous generation, like your and my parents, did this stuff.
Yes, they did. This shit isn't old. I mean, this shit is old. It's not new. And just because you didn't see the shit because social media wasn't out as much as it is now, doesn't mean the shit wasn't happening. This shit just didn't start. It's been happening for a while. But let's go.
So I'm thinking that this seems a little bit more of a response.
I don't know. I think that there's stuff like this has been going on for quite a long time. I mean, throughout history, women have been kind of confined to like acting as if their sexuality is the only thing that matters. You know,
I would only say partly. I think throughout history we still had the idea of motherhood and actually raising the children and taking care of children and being in relationships. I would say that there's
here's the part that I don't get about a lot of these motherfuckers. Which history? Is it just the Western history? Is it Eastern history? Is it Southern history? Which history? Because they set history as this monolith of always been a nuclear family, which it hasn't been. Always been where it's one mom, one dad, and nobody else, and they have 2.5 kids. Again, this is a fucking new phenomenon. So which history? But let's go.
Definitely always been a hyper focus on women sexually than on male sexually. Mm-hmm. But I don't think say purity ball specifically, I don't think that was a common thing until probably, again, like our generation. Because like I said, if you had to ask your parents or ask anyone else's parents, like no one was quote unquote this pure. How I exist is my parents, they actually got
married while my mom was pregnant, and then they had me. But between the rest
Is that like a guilt thing? Like seriously, it just sounds like a guilt thing. But okay, let's go.
of my family, very seldom were any of them like married. So like this whole heavy idea of needing to be a virgin just wasn't anything I'd seen in my family.
I mean,
It was-
even if you're not familiar with it, that doesn't mean it's not like really common.
Yeah. No, I'm not
There
saying that
you
it isn't
go.
common. What I'm saying is it doesn't seem like this was something our previous generation dealt with mostly, like this heavy-handed purity thing. It doesn't even
No,
seem
that's
like it,
definitely not true. If anything, it's only gotten more progressive now, right? Because
No,
people
but-
have been
but-
really.
but you
strict
say
on that
as
throughout history.
as heavy-handed as having a dad go to a ball with his girl as they dance. That's not something general. I don't feel.
I mean, it might
people-
not
in
be
fact,
general,
if
but that's
you-
not
if
the
you
only
took this
aspect of it
idea
either.
And well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying specifically if you're talking about this.
So if you actually listen to it, even Hunter is like, yo, dude, you bullshitting. And what you hear Bass is actually trying to do is trying to make it seem like, oh no, I know because my anecdotal experience, but Hunter has like history, facts, evidence on his side, but Bass is just, but no, it's something that is just starting. No, the fuck it hasn't. Well, let's go.
This idea of how you were cringing about it, I think that everyone's going to see that as pretty abnormal, except the people that are there, obviously. But I don't think anyone can look at a purity ball and walk away from it like, yeah, that's a swell, grand idea. Like most people who grow up in
Yeah,
in
but
just our
maybe
normal
they think a
culture-
purity ball is a little weird, but they don't think but they might actually think the idea that like, yeah, women should abstain till marriage, and it makes them kind of damaged goods if they don't, and like that, those ideas can still be
But here's
reinforced
the
without the
thing,
idea of like a purity ball.
And that's true. So I think that we would have to actually start asking the question, is there a problem with having sex before you get married? And I would say,
Really? You didn't address the point. Purity balls or purity culture has been around for years. And then you want to turn it to a moral argument about having sex before marriage? Dog, come on. Like, okay, let's go.
yeah, I think there's lots of problems, especially depending on the motivation of the people that are engaging in sex. Like,
Can
would
you
you
have
agree that?
consensual sex? You can have
I would-
consensual, normal, healthy
Yeah.
sex outside of a marriage, though.
Yeah, you can, and it could still hurt you. Like, for example, let's say
Aside from STIs, how? All right, let's go.
You have normal, consensual, healthy sex with a guy that you've been dating for, let's say, 5 months. And then you guys break up afterwards because the whole time he was just pretending and he just wanted to have sex with you. Let's say it's a long game, but the sex was still consensual. You guys still agreed. You guys still went on dates, had fun.
Well, yeah,
but then he was
some
like,
people could be shitty, but like they could just do the same thing with getting married, right?
Yeah,
Now,
okay,
maybe not something
okay.
as drastic as divorcing after they have sex.
Yeah,
But after
exactly.
they have
So-
sex, the guy could change his demeanor. He could change his
Mm-hmm.
tone. And already, I mean, we can even look through again throughout history and see how when we're when women are put in environments like this where they can't really leave the marriage, that puts them in a place where they can be abused more or less and can't really do anything about it. Like you can go back in history
would
and look at
agree.
like the abuse of like spousal abuse back then, and women couldn't do anything. They couldn't survive without a husband.
well, yeah, I mean, I would agree mostly, but I mean, I think that's more like the way.
And
the
now
world
there's
kind of
a
looks at
heavy,
it during
especially in
time.
religious circles, a heavy negative stigma around people that are divorced
I would say, yeah,
because of partially purity culture.
I
So, and what Hunter is actually saying here makes so much fucking sense because we have facts and data and evidence. But Bass is just saying, "Oh, wait, but it feels icky to try to have sex outside of marriage because reasons." All right, but let's go.
I wouldn't say it would be the purity culture, it would still more be the tradition. Like for example, like when you get married, the principal idea is you're supposed to stay with that person until you die. That's what the wedding vows are for. And
Mhm.
usually like a failure to adhere to that would address that there's some kind of issue or problem that went there. So I think that again, each marriage needs to be addressed and thought of critically. However, if people are getting divorced, say for frivolous reasons or like quote unquote unreconcilable differences, rather than because the person say cheated or the person was abusive, then the reason why we have a stigma on it is because divorce causes lots of damage, particularly to the children that are involved.
But
For example,
No, it doesn't. An abusive relationship causes way more damage than people divorcing. As a child living in a fucking rocky ass house, that shit was way more damage than if like my parents just left or split up. But fuckers like Bass wants to use this as an excuse to say, oh no, a woman should just put up with her husband. Only if he beats her severely or is cheating on her, then she just should put up with it. But let's go.
What if there's no
parents-
children involved?
Well, then at that point, there's no reason to get married. Like, if you're gonna get married and not have children,
Wait, did he just say don't get married? Oh no, you shouldn't get married unless you have children. Is this mother? Oh, what? Okay, Hunter, attack.
you've kind of defeated the purpose.
What?
I mean,
I thought
I
you just
get
said
that-
the point of marriage is to be together with that person until you die.
No, well, yeah. The reason why you're with that person till you die is because you have children. The principal idea is when you have
it's
children,
if you love. It's because
yes.
you love the person and you're compatible with them and you want to spend
No.
your life with them.
Well, that's the way we look at marriage currently. But the principal point of getting married throughout history was to look at the responsibility that parents, mostly males, had to their children. Because with women, I mean, I guess you could abandon your child, but most women hopefully wouldn't. So it was to regulate the responsibility that we have over each other, that men have to.
Okay, like I'm gonna have to do this later because this is incredibly fucking boring. And Bass is just he's so fucking triggered about people having sex outside of marriage, or people having sex in general, or women expressing their sexuality. It's so fucking tiring. And I don't have the fucking patience to do it. Maybe a little bit later, but like, how much do you have to tell me that you don't like sex without saying that you don't like sex? Like, for real. Like, dude, like I'm 39, about to be 40. Think I'm gonna have another kid right now? Fuck that, no. But I'm definitely going to actually get in a relationship with another woman because I like sex. I like to have my penis inserted into a willing and very sensual woman. I do. And you know what? It feels fucking good. You know what's harmful though? Mental and physical abuse. It has nothing to do with fucking sex. So I don't know what else to say. Like, it just seems like Bass is just trying to make an excuse for him being sex averse. And if he's sex averse, cool. That's fine. But a lot of us not, because I like sex. And if you like this video, please like, share. Oh God, that sounded so fucking dead. Anyway, no, I'm gonna cut this video here. We may come back to the rest of it. It just depends on if I feel like losing any more brain cells. But like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. Right now, I actually have Twitch affiliate, so you can actually help support the channel by giving me the BassFZz bucks for your free Amazon. If you sign up for Amazon Prime, you get one free Twitch Prime membership, and go ahead and support it to the channel. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching this clip, and we're gonna end it here. Okay.
If I gave myself the power, where would